Murder Trial will return to BBC Scotland this year, and it's set to focus on two new cases, the deaths of Caroline Glachan and Ian Cootes. Viewers will get a unique insight into the workings of the Scottish courts and justice system, as well as these cases for TV and BBC iPlayer. A new 10-part podcast series, Inside the Murder Trial, has been commissioned, delving deep into the case of Renee and Andrew McRae, who vanished in 1976. Filmed over several years, Murder Trial has access to the prosecution and defense teams, the police investigation and the victims' families, taking viewers inside high-profile murder cases. The two new TV/iPlayer cases are the latest installments of the acclaimed, award-winning series, which includes Murder Trial, The Disappearance of Renee and Andrew McRae, 2023, Murder Trial, The Disappearance of Margaret Fleming, 2020, and most recently, Murder Trial, The Killing of Dr. Brenda Page, which aired in January 2024. This series of Murder Trial looks at the case of Bon Hill teenager Caroline Glachan, a 14-year-old schoolgirl whose body was discovered on the banks of the River Leven in Renton on August 25, 1996. Caroline's death would become one of Scotland's most high-profile and heartbreaking unsolved cases. Despite extensive inquiries and one arrest over the years, police failed to charge anyone for the murder. However, in November 2023, three people, Robert O'Brien, Andrew Kelly and Donna Brand, stood trial at Glasgow's High Court accused of murder, 27 years after Caroline's death. The trio were accused of violently attacking the schoolgirl before pushing her into the River Leven. A fourth suspect died before she could be arrested. The new installment of Murder Trial also follows the case of 60-year-old Ian Cootes, a retired Army veteran whose remains were uncovered in a disused industrial unit in Glenrothes, Fife in 2020. The horrifying discovery led the police to create a facial reconstruction image in the hope of identifying the victim. They confirmed the identity as Ian Cootes, who lived alone in Glachan, a small village in central Fife. 3 years on, Murder Trial follows the case as 33-year-old David Barnes stands trial at the High Court in Edinburgh, accused of Ian's murder. Meanwhile, the new 10-part podcast series, Inside the Murder Trial, will delve deep into the case of Renee and Andrew McRae, who vanished in 1976. One of the biggest unsolved murder cases in Scottish legal history, the podcast will take listeners through the 2022 trial at Inverness High Court, where 80-year-old William McDowell stood accused of killing his former lover and her son, disposing of their bodies and concealing the murders for 45 years. The Inside the Murder Trial podcast will be presented by journalist Jane McSorley and feature powerful archive content and key contributors. The Murder Trial series is commissioned by David Heron for BBC Scotland and Emma Loach for BBC Factual. They will be executive produced by Ian Scully and Vari Innes at Firecrest Films. Inside the Murder Trial was commissioned by Gareth Hydes for BBC Scotland and BBC Sounds. Ian Scully is the executive producer for Firecrest Films.